Hey, it's Mark with Our Museum of Us. Thanks for tuning in. If you get a chance, subscribe, and that way we'll have an opportunity to provide more stories from you, I hope, as you want to share them. This chapter, The Last Curator, is really, there are three really tough chapters, very personal for me. One is about, well, you'll read about them, but this chapter is tough, and I want to make a point because in this story, and this is based on a real situation, one of the people that I was working with was ready to pass along his things and had everything organized and had the will, had everything, even had part of the daughter, or excuse me, the son who was going to take over everything and be the executor, and all of the things were properly cared for, taken care of, curated, etc. And at an unexpected turn, who can say God's will? The son passed away, and all of a sudden, the older person was left with no curator. It still breaks my heart every time I think of this story. Practical point, though, I'm still heartbroken. Practical point, though, is that if you're in a position where you put your eggs in a basket and you say, this will be the way it will go, and I will make sure that it happens this way. My fear for you is like this wonderful person. That plan didn't work out, so now what do you do? And the lesson that I would offer to me and to us is that it's better to have kind of backup plans for what's going to happen. You can take care of your will, you can establish a trust, you can set up the power of attorney, you can set up the executive right to control our medical situation, and you can have several people who have access to that. But when it comes down to your stuff and your taking care of you at the end, you might want to have a strategy that includes several people, period. And I really, I'm kind of still heartbroken about this one because it was such a beautiful planned ending. But, it's like I quote Robert Burns' poem, The Best Laid Plans of Mice and Men. That poem actually comes from Robert Burns, who was out plowing in the field. And as he was plowing, he opened up a mouse's house, and the mouse and family and everything was there. And Burns was so moved by it, he stopped and wrote that poem, which is a beautiful, beautiful poem. I put a link to it at the end of the chapter. I encourage you to read it. But that is the nature of things. The best laid plans of mice and men oft go astray. And I would say just be ready for that. Be ready for a plow coming down your furrow in the farm, in the ground there. And be ready for that. Be ready for if everything you have organized goes astray, period. And again, my heart's broken. And to quote Aunt Robbie, it's something that we can do something about because we're aware that's a possibility. So best of luck to you with this, and read that poem if you get a chance. I think that really reminds me that no matter what I think is going on, God's will is other than my will. And, as we say in the Lord's Prayer, thy will be done. And good or bad, sometimes that he means it, that it is his will. So let's honor that and act accordingly. Good luck.